In this video, come take a drive with me. I really want to be hitting on the sensitive topic of motivation, guys, because motivation for a high school baseball player, if you have dreams and goals and aspirations to be able to play in college one day, that motivation will come and go. And it's without question, of course, through my 7-year professional baseball career, through my time when I was at NC State University. I'm pretty sure that's like a 2026 Rolls Royce that just passed in front of me, and insane. I'm here in West Palm Beach, by the way, guys, so I'm gonna kind of just go on a little bit of a drive through the city, maybe over on Palm Beach Island as well. But motivation, let's get back to it, right? Because high school baseball players, this is your challenging time to understand who you are. There's a lot of moving pieces in, friend groups and this and that, and what's cool, what's not. This is a good opportunity for you to be able to really truly separate yourself from the rest of the competition. And I see so many high school baseball players that are motivated 1 week, unmotivated 2 weeks, maybe motivated for a couple of days here and there, unmotivated for a week. Maybe they're motivated for like a full month, maybe it's 2 months, and then they're riding this roller coaster, and they don't know if they're motivated, they don't know if they're serious about baseball. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of a life hack that I've learned, because if you really think about it, 7 years I was able to play professional baseball, and I think that's something that a lot of you listeners would love to be able to accomplish, especially some of the dads out there that maybe didn't have the opportunity to play professional baseball. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun, a lot of travel, a lot of time away from friends and family, a lot of sacrifice, right? But I can honestly say it was the days that I woke up and didn't want to do the work, right? I woke up, I didn't even want to go to the field. I didn't want to, wake up for spring training and have a report time at 6:30, because, you want to make sure that you're leveling up and, impressing the people around you. And like, you always are on one, right? You're always on, because you never want to be sleeping on the job, quite literally, because if you do that, that's where it's very easy to not only get released, right? A lot of people don't want to ever talk about getting released, but it's a very real reality.
Real quick, guys, I've got something special for you, for all being loyal watchers here on YouTube. I built a step-by-step free course called The 7 Steps on how to reach out to college baseball coaches the right way. It's for parents of uncommitted sophomores through seniors who want a real roadmap instead of guessing. Inside, I show you how overlooked players land offers, how to write the right email, how to use my exacts template, building that right school list, and how to personalize, send, follow up, and stay organized. It's simple, it's structured, and it works. So go ahead and grab it down below in the description or at MendozABaseballAcademy.com/7 steps. That's MendozABaseballAcademy.com/7 steps.
It's also a way for you to just slip up, make an error during the game. Your team's counting on you. And if you aren't prepared, if you're not mentally there, maybe you're, whatever the case may be, these are all things that can lead to it if we just obviously let those feelings get to us. But I can confidently say a lot of you high school baseball players out there, again, getting back to the motivation aspect, you allow that to dictate your next action, right? And my pitching coach at NC State, he actually, one of the best quotes and best mindsets is really the next play or next pitch mindset, right? And I think a lot of high school baseball players feel motivated one day, feel unmotivated the next day, right? And sometimes the parents even will tell me, like, I need to make sure that my son's actually motivated for a program like yours. If you guys are unaware, my name is Evan Mendoza. Played 7 years of pro ball, 3 years at the D1 level. I've helped over 200 high school baseball players through the college recruiting process. And this is something that I really enjoy doing. There's no path to success. There's no guarantees in success. The only guarantee is really the individual, right? So that's where if a player's not motivated one day, but motivated is, maybe in the future, in the next couple of days, he's going to be motivated. Think about those, and when I hear stories like this, I think about those times where I wasn't motivated. In my 7 years of pro ball, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to show up to the field. I didn't want to put in the work. And some of those days where I just simply showed up, that is all that made the difference, right? That's all I needed to do to actually perform to some capacity, right? I showed up. I put one foot in front of the other. I didn't overthink my motivation, because, like, let's be honest, I'm playing professional baseball. Yes, so there are times where my body is just aching. I'm incredibly sore. I don't want to get up out of bed. but am I going to get up out of bed? Am I actually going to, no show my entire day, right? Because if I no show, that you better believe I'm getting a call from my manager. You better believe I'm getting a call from possibly the GM and the higher ups, right? So you have to really think about taking those actions, right? And if we never take those actions, we're never going to be able to develop. And there were times, like I mentioned, I didn't want to get up, and that's a very common feeling as a professional baseball player, especially with how many games we play. It's ridiculous. We play with the inclusion of spring training. Even at the minor league level, we play somewhere in the ballpark of probably like 150 games, right, in total. The big leaguers that don't make the playoffs, they probably play a total of 180 games with the inclusion of spring training. The guys that play in the World Series, guys, I don't think you guys really have put this together. You're playing baseball for 3/4 of the year. And I think that's incredible, because 3/4 of the year you're waking up and you're showing up to a baseball field. Like, that is incredible if you really ask me. And the motivation that is required to be able to do that day in and day out, that's why not many people get the opportunity to be able to play professional baseball. It's because a lot of people would be weeded out because their motivation is just simply not there. So same thing applies really with college baseball, right? You better believe that the LSUs and the Ole Misses and the Mississippi States, and I'm gonna throw NC State in there as well. Like, there were days that you could kind of tell that players were still in their growing up phase, right? They haven't really truly found themselves yet. They didn't know what kind of motivation that they really needed to be able to grow into the player that they said they wanted to become, right? I always think that's also really interesting. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent on things that I'm just hearing constantly, and some of the issues that I'm seeing with high school baseball players, because high school baseball players, I think, say they want something one day, and their actions don't tell me, basically that they really want it the next day, right? Their actions aren't aligning with the words that they're speaking, right? So these are just things that I hear, and I think there's some commonality with, of course, how high school baseball players stay motivated or say that they're motivated, right? And those actions, those next steps that we have to basically just, again, think about, those tiny, tiny little steps on what we can actually do today that's going to help benefit us tomorrow, right? And our feelings, guys, you don't need to be worrying about your feelings. You're a high school baseball player. You're a teenager. Forget your feelings right now, right? Just put in the work day in and day out. This is the harsh truth that not many people are going to tell you, but if I'm here on social media, or if I'm here on YouTube and I'm just giving you the absolute majority fluff of information, right? If I tell you, hey, it's okay to sleep in, it's okay to get bad grades, it's okay to be late at practice, it's okay to not really focus on your career or be motivated, what is that going to get you? What's that really going to get done for you? Like, are you going to get better as a baseball player? We got some people that don't know how to drive, clearly. This dude's like blocking half the road, but that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you guys the truth on what it's going to take to be able to play at that next level. And I'm not going to, sit here and tell you it's going to be easy. When you're motivated, yes, motivation is going to come and go. Look at me as an example. I was not always motivated, and I'm telling you that right now. I wasn't always motivated. But the thing is that separated myself from the majority of D1 caliber baseball players and high school baseball players is that I just continuously showed up day after day after day after day after day, right? And I didn't complain. I did complain maybe between my ears and my mind, right? But I never really verbalized that, right? Because if I start verbalizing that, then it's going to really take a drain on me, and then that's going to affect how I show up for my team, for my teammates, how I perform, right? But I'm gonna spit the truth, right? It wasn't super easy. It wasn't super easy when I wasn't motivated. But that's where it's really important to make sure that we're laying that framework on, building that mindset, building that motivation to make sure that we're actually able to see the day for what it's going to be, right? And there were times, and maybe this is a little bit of a hack, right? You guys stuck around until the end, so I'm going to give you a little bit of a hack on the mindset side of things. Guys, if you try less, you focus on your teammates more, your performance has a good chance of being better than if you're only solely thinking about yourself and your performance. I've seen it so many times, super selfish players that just only think about themselves, and you start to really hammer away the things that you're doing terrible, right? And then it's going to be obvious that you're doing these things terribly. And then you're only going to be consumed by the thoughts of, these are the things that I'm doing wrong. I can't do anything right, right? I don't think that's the right way of going about it, right? Because if you start doing that, you're going to focus too much on the negatives instead of focusing on the positives. And there's just so many times in the game of baseball throughout my professional career, you have to remind yourself on all the positive things that you're doing within the game to give you that motivation to keep going and to keep pushing yourself, because there's every opportunity when we're talking about playing baseball at that next level that it's just not super easy, guys. It's not supposed to be easy. It's professional baseball. It's why less than 0.1% of all baseball players in the world get the opportunity to be able to play professional baseball, is because that motivation, a lot of people break. There's no backbone when you have to make sacrifices. You can't be with your friends and family. There's a level of it that a lot of people just simply cannot take. And I've seen it actually time and time again. Guys that were super talented in college, they kind of started to fade out in professional baseball because they realized they didn't really want to do it for that long. They weren't willing to go through the grind. They weren't willing to basically level up and climb the ladder to the big leagues. Like, there were a lot of things that I saw. I just crossed over to Palm Beach, so if you see the palm trees in the back, we're going down. What is this? Oh, technically it's like Okeechobee. It might be called something different. Not too familiar with the street names. Let's see, what road is this? This is Royal Palm. Okay, I feel like I should have known that. I'll go up near the beach here in a second, but yeah, guys, I just wanted to share that with you because the motivation, it's a tricky thing, and what we want to rely on is never to just be dependent on our motivation. If we're only dependent on our motivation, like, good luck, right? Because there's going to be so many times where that motivation is just simply not there, and then what? Do we just not do the work? So that's where I want you guys to be a lot more focused on your discipline rather than your motivation, right? Because if you're focused more on your discipline of just doing the work, putting in the work, not complaining, just do. Don't think if you're doing it necessarily even right or wrong. I think a lot of high school baseball players also fall into the trap of, I don't have the best facility, I don't have the best coach, I don't have this, I don't have that. Guys, just do. You'll figure out all those things down the road, right? If you're trying to be perfect in your practice, which is good, but if you try to create and dream about the scenario of a perfect scenario when you're laying on the couch and dreaming of playing professional baseball, guys, those dreams don't get accomplished by sitting on a couch. You get there by actually doing. So that's where discipline is way more important than that motivation, because that motivation, guys, is going to go up and down, up and down. It's our duty as a high school baseball player with dreams and goals of being able to play college baseball to achieve those things through the discipline, through the hard work each and every day.